Hello, welcome back to the Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust podcast. I am super excited to have a guest back for a second time, which hardly ever happens. So you know you're a big deal, Lou. This is how you know, is you get to come on my show.
Or you're desperate for guests. You're like, let me call Mongello. I know he's available.
I know he'll say yes. I know he'll say yes. But Lou, welcome to the show. I'm so thankful that you are here sharing with us again.
It is so good to see you again. It's been too long.
It has. I was thinking about this today. I think you were the only person, I probably told you this before, who is more busy than I am.
And
That's part of the reason.
I'm sure you've heard me say it before. I will never complain about being busy or tired because
Yes.
the opposite is not a good thing. So
Yes. And you're very blessed in all that you do.
I agree.
You've obviously worked very hard for it, but the opportunities keep coming and you just can't say no because you're living the dream right now, my friend.
Lindsay, I am grateful every single morning that first of all, every day on this side of the dirt is a good day. And every
Yep.
night I go to sleep for what I am able to do and the community that allows me to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about that. For anyone who's living under a rock and does not know who you are, will you give us like the 2-minute origin story of who Lou Mongello is?
I am a recovering attorney who more than 20 years ago wrote a book I wanted to read about Walt Disney World, started podcasting in 2005. 2 years later, I packed up the family truckster and moved to Florida. I've been talking about Disney for a living, primarily through podcasting and live video, and really community is sort of the heart and soul of what I do. And then I also try and help other creators and solopreneurs turn what they love into what they do. And I've been a professional keynote speaker, leveraging lessons from the Disney parks for corporate events and businesses and things like that.
I love it. And you have something really big coming up. And I don't want to say what number year it is because I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not either. Don't worry.
Okay.
Like, I think it's 9, but it's really 8. So yeah, I think this is
Okay.
like the 8th momentum. Yeah.
8th momentum. So for people listening, what is momentum? I know it's hard to like describe it honestly, but in your words, if you were telling someone for the first time what momentum is, fill us in.
It is a 4-day, 1-room, 50-person interactive workshop for creators and solopreneurs. Having come from the world where I went to a lot of conferences, would come home with a notebook full of ideas. He couldn't decide which session to go to. I wanted to create a place where you could come in, not just learn from, but work with other creators and solopreneurs who are walking the walk or who are presenting and who have walked that same proverbial walk. But beyond it just being like back-to-back presentations, it really is a workshop. So you do the work in the room, you network with other people, and you really come out, Lindsay, on my hope is that you come out in a much different, farther along place than you were when you walked in on Thursday night.
Yeah. And this is your first year doing it the 4 days, right?
It is. It started out as a 1-day event and somehow has evolved to 4.
Okay, so before we dive into what's happening this coming weekend, I want to hear a little bit about the origin of that, because as someone who hosts events myself, I'm always getting asked, how do you come up with these ideas and how did you start? Because I think so many people think it starts in the iteration that you have right now. Did it start that way? Which you already kind of hinted at that. Where did this idea come about? When were you like, okay, I'm going to do an in-person event for this?
It really did come from personal necessity, which I think, necessity is the mother of invention. Lindsay, I literally still have the same notebook that more than 10, 15 years ago now, I took to a conference and brought home. And I was so excited to get everything done. And I came home and I put it down. And you know what happens? Like, life gets in the way. You have to go back to work. You got family, you got job, you got all these different things. And I was like, I need to do something different. And also when I started, I had a lot of people who supported me, like emotionally, but didn't necessarily support me in the way of, look, as a solopreneur, it's often a very lonely existence, right? We spend a lot of time here at our desks, early morning, late night. The cats are great, but they don't give a lot of positive feedback.
Yep.
So I wanted to, having gone to conferences and been frustrated by my own personal experience, I wanted to do something that was different. I wanted it to be a workshop so you could ask questions and do the work in the room and meet other people who not only can appreciate and empathize with what you do, but understand it and help you along the way and sort of make the tide rise for all boats. And it really did start off as a 1-day event, those many years ago.
And I think that's so important to hear because, again, so many times we see the way events are now and we're like, It's got to be a 2-day. And myself included, I was going in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to do an event for 200 women and it's going to be 2 days and we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And as I got into it, I'm like, this is not where we start. This is too much for a first round.
And bigger isn't always better. And I'm starting to see, I just came from speaking at back-to-back conferences in Dallas and Cleveland, and I'm starting to sort of get the sense that there is this shift towards smaller events. I don't think bigger is necessarily better, Lindsay. I don't think it looks great for pictures, right? And it looks great from a organizational standpoint. But is it as efficient and effective, not just for the organizer, but more importantly for the attendee? I get frustrated when I have to look at a schedule, go, well, I want to see this person and I want to support that person, but I also want to learn what's going on in this room. And I can't be in more places. I can only be in one place at once. I'm never going to go back and watch the video recordings if
Yep.
there are any when I get home. So I don't think, I think sometimes we think scale is better, whether it's from a financial return point of view or just want to have more people. I don't necessarily think that. I think sometimes smaller is better. And from an organizer perspective, like I've kept it 50 people very intentionally. Like I could scale it to 100 and I don't think I think I'd be able to, I'd be able to sell, but it would change the makeup of what I want the event to be. You've been there. It's, you work with the other people. I make you wonderfully uncomfortable by moving around and forcing you almost, if you're an introvert, I'm going to sort of bring you out of your shell a little bit to help you meet other people.
Yeah.
Because those are things I found I wasn't able to do when I went to conferences.
Mhm. And that's so true. Even as the organizer, like you were saying, it's nice to have that smaller, more manageable number because then you too can form the relationships with the people. I know I've been at, and hosted larger events. I'm like, half the people came in and out and I wasn't even able to talk to them. And so it's so nice for you to be able to also, I guess maybe selfishly, but also like it's your event. Like you should be able to do that, right? But you're able to do that where I was at an event with 800 women last year. There's no way that I had, time to talk to the woman who was putting it on and that she could connect with everyone there either. It just wasn't possible because of the way the event was set up.
Right.
And like
And
you
I say,
said, there's
like your event, like they're coming for you. Like those women that are coming to your event, they want to see you. I mean, yes, they want to see the content and meet other people, but they really are there because of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is my encouragement for anyone listening who is thinking about starting events. Start small. And it doesn't even have to be anything like big and official. Maybe it's with 4 of your friends or 4 biz besties or other people like, hey, let's get together at a Panera and brainstorm or something like that. And then, let it grow naturally from there. So with Momentum, your first round, did you reach out to some people like that? Like, hey, if I host it, like, did you do a little market research first? Or were you just like, okay, we're doing it?
So, to your point about what you just said, not only start small, I would start free, right?
Mm,
Just give, so you sort of can almost test the waters of interest. And as you talk to people, see what they're looking for, see what is lacking for them, and then design your event around that. You should be designing your event, not just with yourself in mind, but
yeah.
what problems can I solve for the people that I want to attract? And then if you have a platform, say, hey, let's get together at a Panera. Let's do a dinner. Let me just do a single, half day, couple of hour type of thing somewhere for free. Because then once you get people coming into the ecosystem, into the community, then when you do have that sort of paid offer for a paid event, they already sort of understand who you are, the people that you're attracting, and what it might be. It's even sort of on the Disney side how I grew things. Like been doing free monthly meetups since 2008.
Wow.
After people come for all, then when you have an ask that requires a ticket or is a cruise or an Adventures by Disney, they're more willing and acceptable to accepting to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I actually didn't even think about your trips in that way because I knew you ran all the trips. But I'm like, that's so smart. Yeah, because it's almost, if you're thinking about it business-wise, it's that funnel effect, right? Where you're bringing people in the funnel, warming them up with your free events and your free value that you're giving all the time. For you, it's like your free shows that you're doing too. Just a different type of event when you're going live and sharing your podcast. But yeah, and then we are marketing and bringing them into an offer eventually. Doesn't have to be now, but eventually down the road. So this year's Momentum, let's chat. Let's share a little bit what you can share. I think you released all the speakers at this point, but
Yeah.
what can you kind of share? Like, what can someone look forward to hearing, learning, experiencing? Like, what's it all about this year?
So again, I come from the perspective of an introverted extrovert, right? So I know like when I go to conferences, I'm not the person who's going to inject myself into a conversation or just sit at a table or invite myself to sit at lunch. And I've seen, because I've been that person, you sit in the corner, you just sort of take your notes and then you go on your way. I don't want to do that. I really want this to be an interactive, collaborative type thing. So we did expand it to starting on it. It's now a fourth day. So we start on Thursday night, really, which is sort of like a welcome event to get people comfortable, not just sort of getting their materials. Everybody gets it's like at Momentum, I was working on it this week. Like everybody gets like a 200 plus page workbook,
Yes,
not just for
love
things
it.
to do in the room, but so when you get home so that you can keep the momentum, as it were, going. But I help you try and meet one another. Everybody's lanyard has 3 different topics that either you are interested in, you're an expert in, you want to meet other people. And so you can look at somebody's lanyard and go, oh, you're a podcaster, I am too. Oh, wait, you're in email marketing, you do newsletters, you need to meet so and so. And I want to sort of help bring people together that way. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we really go from like 8 to 5 with a variety of different presenters and topics. And I really look, every topic is, you can't make every topic applicable to every single person, but I do try and make them relatively platform agnostic so that there's something in every presentation for everybody in the room. So whether it is having a CPA come in to talk about, as a new creator or solopreneur, like the money part of the business, taxes, finances, deductions, all those things that, we didn't necessarily learn in school, but we do have the practical and tactical. And that really is what Momentum is sort of the heart about. I'm not a big, and there's nothing against it, like bad, like call it like a woo woo. Like I'm not gonna like a woo, like I'm not gonna get up there like yell and scream. Like, yes, you're gonna get excited,
No
but
manifesting?
I think
What?
there's manifesting going on. I am not the
Yeah.
manifesting manifester. Um, but I
Okay.
really want you, look, I do have, so for example, this year I have, and I love this woman in like the most, respectful way. Gwendolyn Rogers, who is the founder of the Cake Bake Shop, which, as you know, has a presence on the boardwalk in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Not only, not only is the cake delicious, the food is delicious, but more importantly, her story, her business journey is walking the walk. She learned how to bake on her own in her home and built that business like one slice at a time. And having had a chance to meet and chat with her and interview her, her story is fascinating. So I think there's inspiration there, but there are all like, she's going to come in and she just sent me her workbook exercises, which are amazing. She's going to sort of show you and learn from her journey as well. We have somebody from Imagineering coming in talking about storytelling. We have somebody coming in showing you how to use AI in your business. We're going to talk about some of the like woo-woo-y things like resilience. This is not easy. Like, this is really hard sometimes. And I know you have sat at your desk at 11 o'clock on a Friday night. You're like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I doing this? We're going to
Yeah.
talk about those things because we get it. And we are all very much in that same boat.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love, so you started saying it with the lanyards. When I first signed up for Momentum, I don't even know, 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I knew it was going to be different because of the form you sent out ahead of time to all the attendees. And you were wanting to know info about us and where our business is and, what you want to learn more about and things like that. And then when they were printed on our lanyards, I was like, okay, one, this is genius. Way to go, Lou. I'm like, two, as you were mentioning, as an attendee, this is such a great way, especially if you're new, to meet other people, to also find out, like you said, where, okay, if I need some help in email, like, okay, then I'm going to go over here and talk to Paul because he's the email god. And I know that one of the ways I know that is, one, we all know that now at this point, but two, it's on our lanyard. And I love that. And hands down, the connections and the networking and the collaborations for me that have come from Momentum, like the speakers have all been great and very inspirational, and you learn the strategies, but those relationships hands down top any other event that I've ever been to. And a lot of that comes from you and, you and the communities that you create and the people that you attract. But they've just been really great. Like I did an email small group with Paul Gowder. When was it? This summer that we, collabed on that. And just so many doors have opened that weren't even on my radar, before I came to Momentum. So I don't think people even realize those possibilities until you get in a room like this.
Yeah, and thank you for your kind words. Look, I am just the facilitator. It's the people that go up and are so generous of their
Mhm.
time and their expertise. And you mentioned the pre-arrival questionnaire, which I know sometimes people get this and all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, why is there this huge 8-page Google? But it really
Oh,
is
I
to
love
help.
it. Like, yeah.
It's to help me because I read every single one of them. I read it. It helps
Yep.
me understand who is in the room, what your needs are, what your challenges are, what you're working on,
Mhm.
where you are in those. So when I look at the people in the room, I know sort of the spectrum of where people are from just starting out to wanting to level up, but also helps you self audit so that when you come into the room, you're better prepared to go, all right, this is what I'm hoping to get out of it because these are the things that I need help with. These are the kind of people that I want to meet. So you're not coming in blind, trying to figure out along the way and then leaving going, oh, I wish I would have asked this question. I would have talked to this person. So there is a method to the
Mhm.
madness and all these things very much are connected together. And that's part of the reason why we do things like table talks. So if you're like, hey, I have a question about email marketing. I know I can go to the table where Paul and other people were interested in email is. I can go to you and talk to you about event planning or mindset, whatever it might be. And
Mhm.
that is really helpful too. And it is that sort of mastermind type thing, but at a 50-person scale.
Yeah. So just curious, and you might not know off the top of your head for this year, what is your average like amount of new people who are coming in? Like this is their first Momentum versus returning. Do you have like a percentage-ish idea?
So I think it's a good sign. Like hopefully it's a good sign that we have a lot of repeat offenders,
Yeah. Yes.
repeat attendees who come every year. But I
Yeah.
love when there's new faces. I
Yeah.
love I
Yep.
love seeing those new people. And what I love watching, Lindsay, and this is a testament to the people who are there, is the people who are there for the first time will have a different colored lanyard. So you'll
Mhm.
know instantaneously. And I loved watching, and last year was a great example of how many people you don't avoid the new kid, you go over and you welcome the new kid. You bring
Yeah.
them in, introduce people to one another, and make everybody feel very comfortable and very welcome. Like
Yep.
I love being able to sit back and watch that, right? As a teacher,
Mhm.
like you watch and you
Yep.
see, like, and you're happy and proud, not just for the person who is new, but for the people who are helping them feel so welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember recognizing that last year, but I had kind of forgotten about it. And then I saw Katie from Ecamm. She either made a post or a video or something, and she was referencing that moment at Momentum where it wasn't me who went over to her, but I think it was one of the Katies and invited her to dinner with us. We were going to Disney Springs. Um, and it just seemed like so natural. And again, I think that's part of the group of people too, where I can't tell you how many conferences I've gone to and I've just like gone to dinner by myself. Or, like, taking it back to my hotel room, and sometimes you do need that, like, I'll say that too as an introvert, like, sometimes you need a little bit of downtime to decompress, but it's also really nice when there are people there that'll just kinda, like, take you under their wing and, like, "Come with us, we'll
Uh,
keep you the way," you know?
Yeah, and it absolutely matters, and I love seeing that too. You can if you want to sort of have your alone time, you can, but,
Mhm,
the beauty of it being in Walt Disney World, Disney Springs right across the street, Food and Wine
mhm,
Festival going on, um, affords that opportunity for those conversations to continue to happen because that's really where the
yeah,
magic is. It's
mhm,
not the stuff that happens on stage in the room, it's the stuff that happens out
yeah,
in the hallways, and it's why I try and facilitate so much of those conversations. I make people move tables. I make people
mm,
work together on things so they get that feedback and they can help one another because I think everybody who comes there doesn't just have something to learn, but they have something to give and share and teach as well.
I love that. So, we have Momentum Workshop in October, and you haven't announced yet, so maybe you're not planning on doing it again, I don't know. Give me all your spoilers. But you usually do like a momentum retreat as well. Talk to us a little bit about the vibe of a retreat and how that's maybe different than what is going on at the workshop.
So you come from momentum, you're all excited, you got your workbook, you're same thing happens, right? You're going to work, your family, kids, job, life gets in the way. And sometimes it's hard to spend the time that you want and need, or sometimes you need that little sort of booster shot, as it were. So again, coming from my own personal experience, I designed the retreat to be, it is a 3-day weekend where I rent a ginormous vacation home in Orlando. And metaphorically, we sort of, in a good way, we lock ourselves. There's 8 people. We lock ourselves in the house. There's a pool. I take care of all the food. There's lots of snacks, I promise.
All the food.
But it is a great way to mastermind over the weekend. So we deep dive on every single person on, again, you have that pre-arrival questionnaire. So you see where you are, where you're trying to be. And then we work on you. What is it that you're struggling with? Who do you need to meet? Do you need us to help you audit your website, your social, your idea in a very safe, trusted environment, which is critical. And I also do something else, which again, I think hopefully in a good way makes people uncomfortable. I think everybody has something to teach. I think everybody has a skill set maybe that they don't realize they have. So I make everybody present as well. I make everybody do a 10 to 15-minute presentation, which gets you out of your comfort zone sometimes. But it also, I think, gives you this confidence like, well, wait a minute, I do know about this thing. And that thing that you know about has turned into books. It's turned into speaking gigs. It's turned into courses. It's turned into additional revenue streams because that little 15 minutes and that encouragement from the people who were there gave them the confidence to maybe sort of try a new direction.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, to me, it was just kind of like the Momentum Workshop weekend, but like, for lack of a better word, like on steroids, like condensed in, like you said, locked in, even more snacks, although Momentum also has some snacks and good food, or workshop weekend, I guess. Okay, so that is retreat. And then would you say the next level of working with you would be like the small group, like Mastermind? Like, is that the next tier level up, or is it like the one-on-one coaching? I'm not sure what you're still doing at this point.
So there's actually something that I have not released as yet, which I will share with you,
Okay.
which I will be announcing dates for at Momentum.
Okay.
Because, Momentum is also fun, right? It's in Walt Disney World
Yeah.
on purpose. The retreat, there's a pool. We do a lot of sort of fun things and stuff at night so you can decompress and get to know one another even more. But I wanted to sort of level that up and do something a little bit and really sort of create a hybrid experience of the weekend workshop with learning and some of that table talk time and the weekend workshop, but I want to bring it to at sea. So we're going to do a Momentum at sea, which is going to be sort of a little bit of a hybrid event sometime in the future. So I'm going to announce it. I'm going to announce it at Momentum. So there'll be time to like teach and learn and network and one-on-one and mastermind. And I'll do one-on-one time with people while we're there. But you also have to happen to be on a cruise ship. So there is going to be some fun to be had as well. I haven't been doing, I'm sorry.
It's the best of both worlds. I can Montana now.
And listen, I am not an accountant. Go talk to your financial advisor, but you could also write it off. So I'm trying to help you in every way that I can. So I have done, as you know, you were part of it, and I've done the mastermind groups in the past. Yep. I've put those on pause just because my schedule has been so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I hate being the guy who's like, hey, I'm sorry, can we choose a different day? I can't make it tonight. So I do one-on-one coaching with people because I think that's also the most effective way for me to try and help. But who knows what else is coming in the future.
Yeah. Okay. So then going the other way, if people are not quite ready for a weekend investment, you talk to us a little bit about your course. I think is that your only lower ticket? Okay. So talk to us a little bit about the course, because the course is what, a year old? A year and a half?
Yeah, maybe a year. Yeah. It's funny, Lindsay, it's taken me years to do.
I know.
Like to dip my toe. I know we go, because I've always sort of struggled with it because as a consumer, I would get frustrated because I'd buy a course and I would never take it. Right. Or I'd buy a course. I'm like, well, yeah, but this doesn't apply to me and I can't ask this course a question. So I do have a free 5-day course that really is about that sort of mindset, getting you in the mindset of starting to take and go on this journey. It's completely free. It's delivered to you via email over 5 days. There's just exercises that you can do, not physical exercises, because look at me. There's exercises you could do to help sort of you build momentum. And then I just have a very small course for solopreneurs. It's a $7 course. Again, same thing, delivered to you via email to help you build your own blueprint for success going forward.
I love it. I love it. We will be sure to link all of that, guys, too, in the show notes as you're listening or over on YouTube. Now, all these offers that we were just going through, this is your business coaching side or your entrepreneur coaching side of your business. And then you also have WDW Radio. And this is another thing too, I feel like, because you show every year at Momentum that slide that has like all of your streams of income, and it looks like a treasure map. I'm always like, wait, what is connected? Like, where are things going? A lot of people listening are probably beginning entrepreneurs, or maybe they've been in this a couple years. And maybe theirs is starting to look a little like a roadmap, but they're getting a little overwhelmed. Did you start all of these things at once? If not, what would your recommendation be on, where to get started, what to add in when you do it? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So you will see an updated version of that roadmap because I have simplified my life and my business, hopefully my sanity a lot.
Yeah.
But I have tried over the years, I've tried everything, right? And one, because I want to create content in the way that people are most comfortable consuming it. I'm always looking for the next challenge, and I'm trying to find the things that will bring the most value to as many people as possible. I've started to do less better, which I think is really the lesson you have to think about from the very beginning. I also think, going to your point about mindset, before you start and be like, I need to build a course, I got to build a YouTube channel, I got to start a podcast, I got to get sponsors, and all of a sudden you're trying to throw all these darts, you will not be effective or efficient by doing that. I think first you got to sit down and say, okay, what do I want to be known for? Right? What does Lindsay want to be known for? What do I want to be known for? And then you start to build off that, and then start creating something that, one, solves a problem for somebody else, right? Identify the problem. Are you the person to solve it? Do you have the experience and expertise to be able to do it? And also make sure it's in your wheelhouse. For me, building a course wasn't. I would rather do this. I would rather the face-to-face handshake and a hug, events, one-on-one coaching. But you can start to build off that. Build that sort of signature product, that signature event, that signature offering. Become known for that thing. And then once you do, then you can expand out to others. I think sometimes people start going down the path and they give up too quickly and they start something else. Well, what ends up happening? All of a sudden your messaging is confusing because now you're not really talking about this and now you're talking about this. Well, have you forgotten about this, or are you just having all these asks? Build that signature product, be known for that one thing, and then you start expanding from there.
I love that. That's such great advice. And your question, what do you want to be known for? I'm like, ooh, that's a good one that I need to go back and like reassess, because I feel, and even maybe for you, like as a multi-passionate entrepreneur, sometimes that changes. And it's a good reminder to ask yourself that question again. Like, am I still at the place where I was a year ago when I started this? Are my goals still the same? Are my outcomes still
Well, I
the same?
still love it.
Yeah.
So I still love it. Like that's, I talk about it all the time. Like your why is so important, and it's okay if it changes or if the passion's not there. It's funny, Lindsay, as I go to conferences, and maybe this is how people are telling me like, hey, Mongello, you're starting to age out a little bit. They're like, what's your exit strategy? I'm like, I don't know, to die in front of the mic. But for me, my exit strategy is, well, when this stops being fun is the day I'll stop doing it. Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I still love what I do every day, but, and that has to be it. Because otherwise you're just building another job. Like if you don't freaking love what you do, if it's not hell yes, then it's hell no. Like make sure your why, if your why is like pure, I don't know how else to describe it. Like everything else will follow. The money will come. It's true.
What's your why?
Oh, I'm in it for the money, obviously, clearly. I want a low stress, low time commitment.
what you're doing. So we all know that's a lie.
It's funny. I work longer and harder now than I
Yeah.
ever did when I was a lawyer. My why is this, right? So on the Disney side, I love Disney. I love sort of helping people enhance their enjoyment and appreciation of the parks and experiences. On this side of what I do, I know what it's like because I still am to be in your room by yourself, trying to figure it out, like getting frustrated, not having the answers, not everybody to talk to, or feeling like you're almost there. Like I just know like I'm close to I get emotional because I remember like being in my basement in New Jersey, like I'll be perfectly transparent. I was sitting there and I was just crying. And I just know like I'm close. I don't know what it is. Like I just know I'm close.
Yeah.
And you need that help or inspiration or guidance or support or network, whatever it is, to
Yeah.
help push you through it. And you're like, oh, like I'm happy I stuck with it. I'm happy I stuck to it. So
Yeah.
my why really, and I guess, if this is the end, my why has always been helping people, right? As a lawyer,
Yeah.
I was a plaintiff's attorney. I wanted to help people, who needed it. The Disney, I wanted to help people have a better experience. And here, I want to help you. Life is too short not to do what you love every day.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh, look, Lindsay made me cry in her podcast again. That's 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Oh, please. I didn't cry the first time. This is only the first time. And you should know the kids at school, the word in Spanish for savage is salvaje. So I'm like señorita salvaje. I'm the savage.
Nice.
I make everyone cry. Not always for
You read them.
anyway, when you were just talking about giving back, that was one other thing that I wanted to touch on before we wrap it up today is you are partnered with an amazing nonprofit, I guess on the WDW radio side.
Mm.
How did that get started? Did you always have this idea, this passion? You knew it was going to be this, or like, how did that get started? And kind of share a little bit with us about what you do with that.
That's very smart, Lindsay. She's like, he's close to crying. Let me bring up the Make-A-Wish story. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, let's bring out the dad story. All right. So, when I started writing my first Walt Disney World trivia book back in 2003, my dad got very sick. And I went with him every day for months to Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York, which is really where I wrote most of my trivia book. And every day as we went to for him to get treatment, we would pass the pediatric ward. And I'm like, I want to help these kids somehow.
Yeah.
Donating money for research is great, but they're not going to see the benefit of it. So I said, let me start working with a wish granting organization so that they can go to this place that we love so much that's allowing me to sort of do what I do.
Yeah.
So I worked at one organization, then started working with Make-A-Wish Foundation of America and national and local chapters. And again, this is not about me. This is what real community means, because I think sometimes people just need something to rally around. So we raised like more than $500,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America to help these kids with life-threatening illnesses get out of the hospital and go to this place that you and I know like is truly magical and special. And there is some sort of like transformative healing power that it has for these kids. And again, it's not about me, but it's about the community that has come together to make that happen.
Yeah. So awesome. Okay, Lou, before I make you cry again, tell everyone where they can connect with you, how they can get signed up for Momentum or be in the know about future Momentum events. And I'll be sure to drop all this in the show notes too.
So first of all, thank you. You two are an inspiration. I love watching you, like not in a creepy way, but from afar on social and things like that. You are, look, I have such admiration and respect for all teachers, right? And you're so passionate about what you do with your kids, but you also have this side of the thing that you want to do the same thing and help others, which I love, respect, and appreciate. So everything I do on the Disney side is at WDW, like Walt Disney World, WDWradio.com. Everything I do on the business, entrepreneur, solopreneur speaking side is at LouMongello.com. And I'm at Lou Mongello on all social. And if I just thought about this while we were talking, that's why I started typing. We only have a couple of spots left for Momentum this year. There still is an early bird special, but if anybody who from your community wants to come, they can use promo code ThankYou300 on the way out. On the way out, as I said, as you check out. And that'll save $300 off the ticket price.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we will be sure to share that and let everyone know. And I hope that people join us at Momentum this year. And I'm sure I'll be there again next year and all the other years that you're there. You can't get rid of me now, Lou.
Never, wouldn't want to.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for your time because I know you are so busy. And we are looking forward to having you back a third time sometime.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Yep. See you soon.